everyone, it is Kimberly. I am coming to you early today. We'll share this live again tonight on our regular broadcast time, which is at 8 o'clock at evening hour is when we're normally live. But I'm just going to come on here now and do a quick video, little tutorial on working with microfiber density wood board. So you guys have all heard about it. We're on site. We were on site yesterday working here, complete redo where we're at. And so we had some questions coming through about the microfiber density board, and I just wanted to kind of show you what we are working with or have been working with. So this is the microfiber density board. So what I've done is I have come in here and I cleaned all these cabinets because we had a lot of questions, so I'm just going to give these answers out to you guys. Around the edge of this microfiber density board in this remodel was damp, had gotten wet. You all know what happens when the board sweats. A lot of people call it particle board, but it's microfiber density board. A lot of mobile homes, campers, those sort of things have that kind of wood in them. It's very heavy, and a lot of times it gets wet around the edges and it'll bubble up. So the way to remove that and fix those issues is to come in here with a sander. I did come in with a sander. Most of the time I don't ever have to do that. But if your board is raised, you do want to sand it back level. Guess what? The wood underneath is just fine. You just have to sand where that bubble is, where those raised areas are. And that's probably with kitchen cabinets, it's where water has dripped on it. Wet hands have opened the cabinets instead of using the hardware to open them. Things of that nature is what caused that to happen. So, so this is the before on these cabinets in the location that we're at now. So what I've done is I cleaned it, I did the sanding area, and then like I was telling you guys, this actually is painted now with the drop cloth, but I would paint it first with your slick stick. The slick stick, you paint along the edges here and where you have done your sanding, and what that does is it seals your microfiber density board from ever getting wet again. That's a really important step. It's quick, it's not really that hard, and it'll save you about $8,000 worth of savings if you do these yourself, which is really simple to do. It doesn't take any more time than it would be to take and rip all these cabinets out, and why would you if you could make them look new again? So that's the whole process here. You clean it real good. I cleaned it with White Lightning cleaner. I came in with a sander, sanded it around where the raised areas was. Now then I came in with a slick stick, covered it with slick stick, let it cure overnight, a day or two, just depends on your area, how warm it is and how damp it is. If you've had a lot of rain, that sort of thing. And then we came in and painted these cabinets in the Dixie Belle drop cloth. So it's a very neutral color. It's a creamy color, almost like kind of like an antique color. So I'm going to set that out of my way because we have done all of that here. And now I came in, I did actually put 3 coats on here. You don't have to put 3 coats, I just did. I got all of that ready and prepped. And when I prep my piece now, I'm about to come in here and put our top coat on. So Gator Hide is my go-to top coat. A lot of times I will seal all my paint down first with clear coat satin. It's not necessary. A lot of times I do it. It just, if you're working with a dark color, say this was a hurricane gray color or caviar cabinets, what it does is it will seal it down for you, and a lot of people have trouble with Gator Hide going over a dark color. So this is how I stop any issues with that, and you can always add a little bit of your color into your Gator Hide, and that will help as well. But I did take our sander, our little sanding disc. It's a little sponge. It's like 100 grit, if that. It's very, very fine. You can see this one's well loved. And I came in and knocked it all down after painting. So I just kind of knocked the chalky feel down, and I took a damp cloth. So I just took a regular terry cloth towel and my mister bottle. I'm gonna have dust all over me, and took my mister bottle, misted my terry cloth towel down, and wiped my cabinets down. That's to make sure I don't have any dust. Now these cabinets are baby smooth and are ready for me to apply my top coat. So today I'm actually going to put my clear coat satin on it. instead of my gator hide. So I'm gonna have this over under my gator hide, and a lot of times, like I said, I'll do that with dark colors. I'll seal it with my clear coat satin and then come back over the top with a gator hide. So your gator hide goes a little further that way. It's not necessary that you do that, but that's kind of where I was leaning toward, getting a nice thin coat of this on and then coming in putting my gator hide on. And a lot of times when I put my gator hide on, or my clear coat satin, I let it set overnight. I always say overnight. I let everything set overnight. I don't hurry the drying process. So we are back up here, and I'm going to get started and show you guys, sorry for bobbling you around, show you how easy it is to apply this clear coat. Now, I am using Dixie Belle's Mini Flat, and I have not used this for anything except for a clear coat. So this has never touched any paint, and so that's kind of a plus as well. And I did bring, a lot of times I will take a little paper plate, and this happens to be a little plastic plate, and putting my top coat in my plastic plate instead of dipping into my jar. So that's a little bit of information. This is clear coat satin. You don't have to use it first, but I'm just doing it because I really want longevity in these cabinets and for my clients. So I'm just going to go ahead, and it looks like I've just poured milk onto my plate, but it really goes on super, super easy. And I'm trying to figure out, let me just kind of tilt you guys. Really don't see if I can, yeah, there. So I can get you guys right on the product that I'm working on. So I'm gonna get started on these now that I sanded it. I lightly sanded it, now they are baby smooth. So I'm gonna just apply myself some, and you can always mist your brush. In this case, I didn't mist my brush like I normally do, but I'm just gonna come in here and apply this clear coat on here, because it's gonna just help seal my paint and prep it even more for, it's a little overboard. You don't have to necessarily do that before you put your gator hide on, but I kind of like to put this on because then it gives my gator hide a nice, slick, even surface to go on, and it makes your products go farther. And so I'm just gonna apply this to all the edges. It's important when you're working with the microfiber density wood board that you seal along the edges. And that's why I'm gonna put gator hide on this, because this is a small kitchen and it will prevent any, got a little something in there. It will prevent any of your water stains from getting on your product. So that's kind of important too. I'm just gonna come in here and just kind of come all around everywhere first. This is just clear coat. It's a clear coat satin. It's really simple to put on. Bear in mind, when you're putting your top coats on, thin, multiple layers are always your best bet. So thin, multiple layers. So I'm just gonna come in here. This is a relatively simple process. I'm just gonna get something on these cabinets. Keep getting a little bit of trash, which it's easy to do when you're working on site and other work is being done around you. So just kind of bear that in mind. You probably won't have that problem if you're basically working in your own space. So I'm just gonna go in here and do the same process. Just get in here and get me a coat of my product on. So I kind of tilt my doors toward the light so I can kind of see where I've been, because it's so thin, such a thin, and it's a clear coat, so it's kind of hard to see. So I always kind of try to do that so I can see where I have been. So you can kind of see the wet versus the dry. So this is just exactly what I do in most of my steps. And trust me, when you are working with this type of fiberboard, it makes it look so beautiful when you're at the end result. So I'm kind of backing off my brush a little bit because backing off my brush. By what I mean by that is by kind of lightening up the pressure. So a lot of people, you may want to put this on with a sponge if it's easier for you. If you feel like you're heavy-handed, you may put it on with a sponge versus putting on with a brush. So it's really your preference on how you put these on. So again, I'm just coming in here and getting a sealed top coat on here, and this I am placing prior to my gator hide. It's just kind of my go-to thing. It's what I do with most all of my products. If I'm going to use gator hide, I always kind of seal down first with my clear coat satin, and it just makes life easier when you apply your gator hide. So it might be a little piece of information that might be holding up some people that have issues with your gator hide. This may be a little trick that you may not have heard about yet, but if you will apply it prior to on your dark colors as well, it'll help your dark colors stay true when you put your gator hide on, because your clear coat's not going to change it, because your clear coat is water-based and it's not a polyacrylic, where your gator hide is polyacrylic. So that can kind of make it a little bit harder when you're using the polyacrylic on dark colors. So it just helps them stay true to form. So I'm going to do the outsides and then come in here and continue on getting my clear coat. This just is going to be a nice prep seal. Seal everything down before I put the real deal on, which is the gator hide. I'm going in all the creases and all the crevices to get it sealed in. And then it'll be easier when you are cleaning your pieces, and for the homeowner, be easy for them to keep it clean, because obviously then you've got it sealed. It's easy to wipe down. A lot of people are worried with chalk paint that stains will stick to it and the like, but you really don't have that issue if you seal it with your gator hide. So I know we're kind of early and you guys probably aren't even with us right now, but I wanted to go ahead and do it. I could share the video later for you guys at 8 o'clock as well. Most likely I'll probably be trying to get some vegetables in from our garden, which, we had rain here in North Carolina, so my garden's going crazy when we have rain. So it requires a little additional attention when we have the rain, which we had last night. So when you see a little something in your product, I just come back in and clean it out, take it out. So it's easy to pick up stuff. And so basically, this is just a really thin coat of top coat on here. I'm not putting a thick coat on. The key to gator hide, the key to your clear coat satin, the key to those products is putting them on thin, multiple layers. Layer after layer after, build your layers, build thin, multiple layers, and give you the best results when you're working with gator hide or any of our top coats. It's just a process that just makes it work a little bit better. So thin, very, very thin. I know you can't hardly see what I'm putting on because of the fact that we have the light shining on it, and it's a clear coat. So when you put your clear coats on. So I'm just gonna go in here, and this will dry overnight. Chances are I can get back up here maybe tomorrow early and apply my gator hide. As you can see, it's very, very simple to do. So I'm just going to continue on getting this on here, and I will reshare this tonight for our 8 o'clock live, so that you guys can kind of see how we've come in and the different things that you can do when you're working with microfiber wood board and how to make that process work best for you. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that everybody has a blessed weekend, and we will talk to you later. Thank you so much. Bye for now.